Hey, and welcome to today's episode. On today's episode, this Line 3 profile wants to share with you a personal experience. And I know I've been talking about these challenges that I've been going through, and I've been a little bit cagey about it, which is very unlike me. I'm usually very straightforward, very open and vulnerable. But unfortunately, I've not been in a position to do that. As of today, I am going to start telling my story because I feel that it is super valuable for you. My experiences and how I have used my human design and my gene keys to help me through a very, very challenging time in my life, I do feel like is beneficial, and it's going to be valuable for you so that you can do the same things to help yourself through potential challenges that maybe you're facing now or maybe you'll face in the future. And the truth is that at the end of the day, and I fundamentally believe this is a spiritual truth, that we choose to struggle. We choose to experience a hard life. Now, I know that that sounds a little bit harsh. I know that. I know that there are people out there that are experiencing a great deal of hardship. Some awful things have been going on in the world, plane crashes and bushfires and illness. And what I'm not saying is that these people chose that. That is not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that I fundamentally believe that we all chose to come into this life at this time and face specific challenges. And these challenges that are laid in front of us to what I believe ultimately help us grow and evolve are some of our greatest gifts in our lifetime. Now, one of the things in my particular life, I've actually faced quite a bit of challenge. And, I am someone who has the gate 36, which is the gate of crisis. I've got gate 28, which is the gate of struggle. I'm an emotional authority. I've got a line 3, like a shadow of martyr. So, as I have faced these challenges in my life, as many of you may know that have been around for a while, but a few of you may not, that I sort of started this journey being diagnosed with depression and panic disorder at 28 and being given this diagnosis that I would never heal myself, that I would learn to manage this thing, but I would never actually heal myself. And that was the catalyst. That really scary and empowering moment was the catalyst for the journey I was to embark on to become who I am today. And honestly, I think I will look back at this time in my life and really be, wow, that was the catalyst for this next version of you. So I have been endlessly frustrated over the last, I'm going to say 6 months with my, I'm not going to say healing journey, I'm going to say integration journey, because I am someone that moves through things really quickly. And I've had that experience for the last, I'm going to say decade, where, when I lost my mom or I lost my dad, when I've faced with really big challenges, many of you might know that I ended up with a $218,000 tax bill. But all of these challenges, whenever they came up in my life over the last decade, I've really felt grounded. I felt deep trust in myself and the universe. And it's something that I know I consciously created, and it's what I teach you. It's everything that I share. Now, about a little over 18 months ago, many of you know, in fact, if you listen to this podcast, there's probably no way you don't know, I separated from my husband. And as I record this, I am still in the process of financial settlement and divorce. And this experience, this lesson, has been endlessly challenging. And if I'm brutally honest, I'm surprised, because I was in a marriage where I absolutely loved my husband, don't get me wrong, but I wasn't in love with him anymore. I was still in this relationship because I wanted to keep the family together. Hello, my personality son of 37, Gator family. I was completely prepared to do the work to heal and improve this relationship. So when we did actually separate, honestly, just between us, I was pretty excited. I was happy. I was, ready to be like, wow, this is my new life. I can jump into this new life. I can, spread my wings. I can experience this great freedom. And at that time, that version of me was like, okay, the biggest challenge I'm going to face here, the hardest thing is going to be my kids and making sure that I can be who they need me to be through this process. And it's going to be their mental health, their happiness, how we navigate this new co-parenting and all of those things. And I felt so prepared. Yep, I felt so prepared. And well, as one of my kids, when they were little, one of their favorite storybooks was this Star Wars storybook, right? And you would open it up and you could press a button. And for those Star Wars fans out there, if you press the Han Solo button, it would say, don't get cocky. Don't get cocky. I should have listened to the Star Wars book when this all started, because instead of being able to just, elegantly navigate the challenges, elegantly what did Gwyneth Paltrow and Chris Martin call it? Uncouple. I had this whole dream. I had a friend of mine who had done it so beautifully. And I was confident that, yep, that's what it's going to look like for us. Well, it didn't. And it looked like a shit show. And to be honest, it's not looking great right now. And the reason why I want to share this story with you is because I get how frustrating or how angry it makes you or how bitter you feel or how disappointed you get when you are not where you want to be. And that can be manifesting the life of your dreams, because by the way, I have the life of my fucking dreams. Like even this is, amplifying the life of my dreams. Yet there's been a part of me that's taken my eye off that road, that's been more focused on, trying to control, fix, sort out this situation, which, as soon as we try and force, fix, and sort out, then the further away it gets, it's like grasping at smoke. But this has been that time where I have had to slow down. I've had to listen to my strategy and respond instead of trying to get ahead of myself. I have actually had to deal with my childhood trauma. And that was something that I thought I was fine. Like it was fine. And my 50-year-old friend out there, this is my Chiron. I'm currently going through my Chiron return, which happens at 50. And what that means is we must heal our childhood wound. If we haven't healed it before then, we will face it and have the opportunity to heal it at our Chiron return. And if we don't, then potentially we can feel like we're pushing shit uphill for the rest of our lives. And I'm like, no thanks, sweetheart. I do not want that. So as I have gone through this process, with this expectation of it being just elegant and easy, and my truth, my reality being that I have been witness to some of my deepest shadows and my deepest childhood trauma. And the truth is, my mum, bless her, she left this planet the year before last, and she was a narcissist. And I really learned that I wasn't worthy of love. I learned that it was what I can do for you that dictates my worth. I learned so much about being independent, about being able to take care of myself. I'm one of the Gen Xers of the turnkey generation, meaning that I remember from as young as grade 2 or grade 3, I would get the bus home on my own and then go to my home, and I would stay there till 7 o'clock at night till my parents got home, on my own. And I remember being terrified that a burglar would break in. And this is all stuff that I thought was fine. It's fine. Well, Chiron came to remind me that it wasn't fine and that it needed dealing with. Now, I'm not really going to go into any of the deep, dark details right now in regards to my mother being a narcissist or how this relates to my ex-partner. But what I am going to go into is this fantastic insight that came to me while working with my coach this past week. And because some of my greatest frustration, may I add, MG moment here where I'm kind of deviating to another topic, but I will come back, is that I am frustrated because I am seeing an excellent therapist. I'm working with one of the best coaches on the planet. I am doing all the things I've always done. I'm learning and I'm integrating and I'm doing all the things. And up until last Saturday, I'm like, why isn't this working? And again, I am being unnecessarily hard on myself. It is all working. I'm taking huge steps forward. And I'm having to constantly remind myself to do my gratitude each day for those steps forward, because otherwise my brain is deleting them and leaves me in a place where I feel like I'm not making any progress, which is absolute BS. Not true at all. It's just a bullshit story my ego tells me. The wait is officially over. My book, Human Design Made Simple, is going to launch on the 20th of May in the US. And I could not be more excited. This book is totally inspired by you. And to be honest, my line 3 experience. At the end of the day, when I came to human design, it was complicated. There was so much information. I didn't know who to listen to, and the language was so negative. And in my experiment, I discovered the ways that we can access our human design in the most simple solutions. Hello, line 5. So in this book, I give you all the simple ways to experiment with your human design so you can integrate it into your life. And it's designed so you can take it everywhere with you. You can experiment with all the important parts of your design and actually get results straight away. So the thing that I would love you to do is to follow the link in the show notes if you're in the US and go and pre-order the book now. It'll be in your hands before you know it. The sooner you get on the list, the sooner you will get it. And for those of you that are in Australia or Europe and the UK, it's already out for you guys. So go out, grab it, and transform your life. Human Design Made Simple. My favorite little baby. Actually, probably not my favorite. I've got 2 kids. My 3rd favorite. I don't know. Anyway, go buy it. It's brilliant. But what I want to tell you is this breakthrough, because this is a breakthrough that you can have too. So last week, I was on this call and we're trying to get to the bottom of why I still feel so triggered every time I have to interact with my ex. Now, there's a lot of reasons that happens. It's a learnt behavior. There's a lot of things that potentially he does that's played into my trauma, but that's not the thing. The thing that I wanted to get to the bottom of was what's in me. Like, he's got to deal with his stuff, but what's in me? And we are sitting there and we're having this incredible conversation and he's asking these incredible questions. And all of a sudden it hits me. Dare I say, I had an epiphany. And you'll know what that means in a minute. I was sitting there and it dawned on me that the thing that triggers me the most, and it's what triggered me in my mother, is that I don't feel heard. I don't feel heard by my ex. I feel like I speak and it's completely ignored. It's like I'm talking underwater. Now, as I said this, it was like I had a whole movie of my childhood play out in my mind. I saw myself as a young child. I did not say boo. I was so shy as a kid. I didn't say a word. I learnt really early that my voice is not heard. I saw all the trouble I had speaking. Like, I could not stand up in front of the class. I was just talking about this with someone the other day. Could not stand up in front of the class and read a book. Well, I'm dyslexic as well, so that was another layer of trauma. But it scared the hell out of me. Even though there was this part of me that felt like that I enjoyed it, I was terrified of using my voice. And in the past, when a coach or I've been, going through a healing program and people are like, you're afraid to use your voice. I'm like, that just doesn't resonate. And when this epiphany came to me on the weekend, I realized it's my core wound. My core wound is the 43, shadow of deafness. So either I am being deaf to something or someone else is being deaf to me. And this was like the biggest epiphany for me, because I also realized in that moment that one of the challenges I'd had with my ex is that I honestly would tell myself, God, all these other people listen to me. Why can't you listen to me? It was the same way I felt about my mum. Why can you not listen to me? And then the next epiphany came. Oh my God, I've built an entire business to prove to myself and to my mother that I deserve to be listened to. Holy crap. So, why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this because this core wound, so in your gene keys, you will find your core wound. It's a part of your Venus sequence. In human design, it is your design Mars. And what I believe is that this core wound has an influence over almost everything. Okay, so it's like this subtle frame that you see the world, like this wound that you see the world from, that in my case, I'm not heard. My voice doesn't matter. Do you know what's crazy about that? Not only have I built a very successful podcast and business, and I'm now off on a speaking tour this year, but in my design earth, in the gene keys, this is your purpose. I have the line 5, which is the voice. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. So what I'm saying to you is, with the big challenges in your life, the things that you are really struggling with, go and look to the shadow of this gene key or of your design Mars. Go and have a look at that shadow. And is that the thing? Is that the fear? Is that the story that you tell yourself? Is that the thing that is blocking you from really stepping in? Because the truth is, for me, in this situation, what I realized is that I was so busy trying to be heard by the people that I perceived loved me the most, I forgot to listen to me. I was being deaf to me. I was putting boundaries in place and then breaking those boundaries. I was noticing that I was having a trauma response, but I was making his needs more important than my needs. I was not listening to me. I was being deaf to me. So this whole epiphany, thank you, the acidic state of the 43, really helped to solidify, heal, and integrate this thing that I felt like I needed. My conscious adult mind was like, I don't need him to hear me. But oh my God, that part of me, that core wound, that part of me that was born with this, because Richard Rudd talks about the core wound being something we are born with. It comes in with the soul. That when I really sat with it, yeah, the tears came. the emotion was processed. The trauma really began to shake free from my body. So, this is one of the ways that I would really encourage you to have a look at your real time life. What's going on? Where are you the most challenged? And I want you to go and get this gene key or this gate. And you can, if you want to, you can get our PDF. I'll leave the links in the show notes. However, I do also encourage you to get the gene keys if you don't have them already. And if you're a bit overwhelmed at first, don't worry about it. Just stick with it. Get our Gates PDF. It's much simpler. That can help you in the meantime as you start to, start your romance with the gene keys. You need to date a little before you really dive in deep. But my point is that yet again, I am shown that our human design and gene keys are this incredible blueprint, this roadmap, this treasure map to what's really going on inside of us. Because if you want to create change in your life, you must understand the language in which you speak to yourself. As I said before, people would say, "Are you afraid to use your voice?" And I'm like, I am not afraid to use my voice. So everyone else was projecting onto me what they thought my block was, what they thought my fear was, my trauma was. But it was only when I had enough space to hear myself and my epiphany that I really understood that I was just trying to be heard, like I always had been ever since I was a child. So, friend, I invite you to do as I did. Have a look at that challenge. Have a look at that thing that you are feeling stressed about and ask yourself, is this my core wound? Is this me in the shadow of my core wound? Is it time for me to finally heal and integrate this? Well, I hope so. I trust you got what you needed from today's episode. Thank you so much for being here, and I so look forward to having you on the next one. Bye for now.